Let's
We're not live yet, are we?
YouTube. It's supposed to be. Shut that off, please. All right, we're live on YouTube, I believe. Let's check that out.
Welcome to the conference. All guests are currently unmuted. To mute all guests, press pound. For help with host options, press *0. You will now be connected with the conference.
Okay. All right, everybody, welcome. I have a special guest here today. Check this out. The Laura. Oh, I've got her glasses on, too. Nice way to start that. Looking good there. Welcome to today's sales training call. This is the TRC Sales Training call, and today is Friday, October 28th of 2016. And we're excited because we're sitting in our new nest, right? So we have changed locations physically as an office. We have opened up an office in Osterville, Massachusetts, which we're excited about. It's been a long time since we've worked inside our village, and it's almost a little too convenient. We can get our coffee and our lunch, and we're a little confused. But we're excited to be here today to do the sales training call. And the nice thing about having a more private office like this is that we can drag Laura, inside sales vice president extraordinaire, to come in here and share some of her thoughts about what we've been talking about. And as far as the group is concerned, recently we've been really talking a lot about expireds and how we deal with expireds and other niche types of training that we need to do, meaning that a lot of the sales training that we do is very focused on what we've all sort of come to believe is the way to do business, and it's not the only way, it's a piece of it, but internet-based leads. But really, we've done a couple calls this week where we talk about the fastest path to business. I think the challenge for many of you today is that you are trying to get a business up and going, and you're thinking that the internet is the way. And I'm not saying that's not part of the way, but understand the problem with this. The premise is this, is that if you start primarily with a lead that comes in from the internet, the challenge is that the conversion time, I hate to say that when we're talking about building relationships with people, but you're in a business. So the time that you convert that relationship into an actual business transaction can be a very long time. And that needs to be brought up because that's problematic for most real estate agents and they don't think about it. So over this last week in our mastermind group with our company owners and team leaders, we really have been digging in a lot on one of the things that we focus on, which is finding or shortening the path to where are those sellers that are most motivated so that we can get into that conversation. We do a lot of training here on this sales call about really trying to make sure we're talking about buyers, but everybody ducks the seller for some reason. I wonder if it's just, I don't know what your thoughts are as people are rolling into the call here. Before we get going, what are your thoughts, Laura, about that? Because we talked about it, you and I, that there's always a reluctance to talk to sellers because it seems like a more complicated transaction. Is that right? Or are those words I'm putting in your mouth or anybody else's?
No, I mean, the process is the same, but I think they're a little bit more intimidating to enter someone's house and put yourself in the position of being the professional and communicating your benefits to them isn't always as easy as it seems. With a buyer, it's like, yeah, they need help.
Yeah.
They need you to hold their hand, and it's easier to kind of guide them along the process. With a seller, they're looking for results, they're looking for feedback, communication, all those things, put a lot of pressure on a real estate agent, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So it's a more complicated transaction, is what I'm hearing. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different psychology.
Okay.
Versus
We'll talk about that a little bit, because the psychology of preparing for something. I mean, that's what sales training is about here. So preparing to be psychologically ready for the challenge. You and I were just talking about this now. Just to give you context, Laura is a 10-year veteran in this business, working hand in hand with this lunatic, right? So, yeah, see, it's a sweet spot. You see, now you get the truth, right? I bring in a guest, and the next thing you know, you get the truth, right? We'll bring this in a little bit closer so you can see her real reactions, right? So I think the challenge here is that I see you, myself, and everybody else, they get much more worked up about working with a seller. They get more concerned about not knowing. I think the biggest fear when training real estate